What up, y'all? It's me, Keisha, and I'm here with a new behind the scenes tea video. T Squad, tonight is the Bell Collective reunion. I believe part one. I think we might be getting two parts. Don't know for sure, but of course I will be doing reviews on said reunion. But before tonight's reunion airs, I want to get into a interview that Mandy did prior to the season airing with YouTuber Millie Chun, where she detailed what happened between her and Glenn. So I took notes to some of the most explosive, things that were said in the interview. So she says that her and Glenn really started bonding over him venting to her about things that were going on in his marriage with Leticia and vice versa, because she herself had been separated from her wife for the past 5 years before they finally got a divorce. So she was separated but still married, and he most definitely was married. But she said that he was venting to her about issues in his marriage, and she could what's the word I'm looking for? Relate. So that's how things like progressed between them, because she also stated that he had been on her since season one. Season one, she said she was brought onto the show to do the girl's hair. She said that she did do Leticia's hair a few times. It was never a situation where Leticia came to her and was like, can you do my hair or whatever. It was always for the show when she did do it season one. She says that Leticia was Latrice's friend. Like, that was never her friend. Of course, she was around her. They've been in the same rooms, laughed and kiki, but they was never cool like that. Okay. But she says that she left Glenn on red until last year. That's when she finally said that she decided to entertain him. But she says that he actually reached out to her and DM'd her 2 years ago. So he DM'd her 2 years ago, but she didn't respond until last year. And she says that the last time that they spoke was actually January, February of this year. So they had still had communication all the way up to the beginning of this year. And this is what Tisha is choosing to negate, the fact that this was still going on after y'all so-called recommitment, commitment. Like, but that ain't even the half of it. Because if what this girl is saying is true, then this is why I further don't feel anything for Leticia and her stupidity. So Millie Chun goes on to ask her, have she and Glenn ever bumped uglies? And she says, that's not my story to tell. That's not my story to tell. Well, whose story is it for you to tell, ma'am? I'm confused. If it was only you and him if it did happen, so how is it not your story to tell? You done told everything else, but you don't want to tell that. Even with you saying that leads to make us believe that you did F that man. If you gonna tell it all. That's how I feel. And I 1000% think that she did. 1000%. 1000% believe she did. Okay. The viewers were asking, like, well, if you're a lesbian, why did you even entertain him? And she said that she was going through a vulnerable state in her life at that time, and this, that, and the third. And I want to know what that vulnerable state is, because you had already been separated from said wife for years by the time you claim to have entertained him. So why were you so vulnerable all of a sudden? Why were you so emotional and going through so much? Because I fail to believe that it had anything to do with your marriage. I just don't believe that. I think that you wanted to entertain this nigga. And I don't think that you 100% are gay. I think that you are bisexual. Because if you only like women, you ain't entertaining no man and possibly fucking him. So stop. Please stop. You was on your whole shit. Okay? But then it gets even worse. She goes on to say that Glenn told her she was going to be on the show before production even told her. And he told her this while they were at Taste together. Taste meaning Cliff and Latrice's restaurant lounge. He told her that he recommended her, that he gave a great recommendation to production. And he was like, don't worry about it. You got it. You going to be on the show. And she said right after that, she got the phone call stating that she was going to be on season 6 of Belle Collective. First of all, the audacity, the disrespect that you as this lady's husband is vouching for your side chick mistress to come onto the show. Once again, Glenn could give 2 fucks about Leticia. He don't give a goddamn about that lady. It's a game to him. It really honestly is. And she continues to play the fool. Continues to. He ain't shit and you ain't shit. Because why are you trying to go on this lady's platform? Why? Why? And then she goes on to say in the interview that she had been trying to be on the show since season 2, but that her wife really didn't want to be on reality television. My thing is also, okay, you've been wanting to be on the show since season 2. You said out of your mouth that Glenn been trying to get on you since season 1. I wouldn't even want to be on the show because it's too messy. It's too much. And let's not forget that Leticia is the person that came up with Belle Collective. She's the one that built this show, got the cast together, helped with pitching and all of these things. So technically, this is her show. So why would you even want to be on this lady's show years later once you did decide that you was going to mess around with her husband? Make it make sense, because it absolutely does not. It's giving you really wanted to be on season 6 because, like she kept on reiterating in the interview, that Leticia did her friend Latrice wrong. She was never Latrice's friend. I'm Latrice's real friend. I didn't like how Leticia did my friend. That's why you wanted to come on to this show. Because you wanted to have an aha gotcha moment, bitch. You want to play with my friend? I'm going to embarrass you. I'm going to put it all on the floor. How about that? How about that, bitch? And to be honest with you, now that I'm thinking about it, it's not a coincidence to me that you decided to finally give in and started hollering at Glenn a year ago. A year ago is when things went down between Leticia and Latrice. So it's giving me, did you start fucking with Glenn? You and Latrice was like, okay, we're going to put this shit in motion. Respond to him. And get on his ass so we can have physical proof and come at her with this shit next season. It's given that's what y'all was on to me. That this was a plot and a plan created by Todd. I really think that could very well be a possibility now that I'm thinking about everything. That could very well be a possibility that you and Latrice was like, that nigga been trying to get on you for the last 2 years. This bitch done played me. Let me get her ass back. We're going to embarrass her and we're going to get her back the surefire way that we know that can hurt her, and that's through Glenn. That is very much a possibility in my eyes of what y'all did. If not, that makes more sense to me than I was in a vulnerable state. Vulnerable for what? I'll wait. But then it gets even weirder. She says that Tisha already knew basically that something was going on between them. So she should have known how she was coming when she got on the show. So I'm like, what? What you mean? Now, only thing that I hated about this interview is that I wish that Millie would have asked better follow-up questions, because it was right there on a platter. And she just wasn't, she was so gooped and gagged that I think she lost focus. I wish I would have interviewed her ass, because baby. So she says that at Latrice's grand opening for Taste, they wrapped filming and she was sitting in the car with Glenn. Now, mind you, if y'all remember, the grand opening is when the whole thing went down between Willie and Glenn, when they almost came to blows. So Leticia was there when all of that happened. She says she was in a car in his truck with Glenn. And she got a text message from Leticia saying, FYI, he's mic'd up. Which she took as, he still got his mic on. These production people can hear what y'all saying, so be careful with what y'all talking about. You could take that one or two ways. She was literally telling them just to be careful with what they were saying because it could make television, they could be talking about something they ain't had no business talking about, some weed, some drugs, you just never know, okay? Some business, you never know. Or it could be she knew that they was messing around and was telling them to be careful because he was still mic'd up. At this point, will I be shocked by finding out that Leticia already knew something was going on between her and Glenn? No, I would not be shocked at all. Would not be shocked at all. Because first of all, why are you sitting in the car with my husband? Why are you sitting in the car with my husband? There's just certain things we don't do. And with you saying that y'all weren't even cool like that, why are you sitting in the car with this lady husband after he just almost had an altercation? Why he ain't with his wife? Why his wife ain't with him consoling him? So that lets you know either Leticia was in the vicinity to see them in the car together, or somebody told her they was in the car together. I don't know. But what? Baby, Leticia's a bird. Then she says, she makes this statement about how basically, oh, wait a minute, before I get to that. She says that, like I said, her and Leticia weren't friends like that. They've been in the same rooms together. She goes on to say that she's a girl's girl. She's a real ass bitch. And I'm like, Houseway, how are you a girl's girl when you fucking around with somebody's husband? How are you a real ass bitch once again when you fucking around with somebody's husband and then you know the wife, around the wife, whether y'all friends or not? That ain't real. Like, girl, get your dumb ass somewhere and sit down somewhere. Like, she's an idiot. Then she says that she takes full responsibility for dissing Tisha in the salon scene where she was like, look at her, look at me or whatever, talking about, I was wrong for saying that Leticia is a beautiful woman and I've always given her props when her hair was done right and when her outfit and stuff was cute. Girl, bye. You meant every bit of that little bullshit you said. You meant that shit. You think you hotter than her. You think that you that girl. You think you look better than her. You think because you smaller or whatever, dress better, hair be better, that you what's popping. And you think that you better because her nigga wants you and been after you for years. You meant that shit, but you caught backlash because of it. So now you trying to backtrack or whatever. Bye, girl. Then she accuses Tisha of being on bullshit because she says that Tisha was putting other women in Willie's DMs. I guess trying to see if he was going to take the bait so she can then have something to come at Akeisha with. I'm so glad Akeisha got her ass up off this goddamn show. I'm so happy. And I'm so happy that it was a failed attempt. Because Leticia was so jealous of Akeisha, it didn't make no goddamn sense. And this is why, once again, I can't feel sorry for her because you walking around doing fuck shit like this. But Mandy, it still doesn't absolve you for the fuck shit that you was on. Then lastly, she says that she hates that we the viewers got to know her as entertaining a married man. Well, you the one that put it on the floor. Nobody told you to come on here and talk about that. We wouldn't have known. You could have very well came on here as Latrice BFF, showing your salon, going through, being divorced, getting back out here in the dating world, being a single lesbian mom, because she said she got a 19-year-old, I believe, son or whatever that's in college. That could have very well been your storyline. You are the one that chose to tell production that you was fucking around with Glenn to get on this goddamn show. Bye, girl. You did this to yourself. You trying to come up with every excuse in the book to make yourself look like a victim, and you'll never be a victim. You a hoe. You know you a hoe. You fuck 3 different niggas after every show. Leticia is a goddamn fool that is willing to lay down and accept anything that Glenn give her just so she could say she got a husband. She's so goddamn dingy. Glenn think that he young Dro for real. Okay? Delusional. Latrice is a tick-tocking snake. Girl, I can't with none of y'all. I really honestly can't. I can't wait to see if she gonna be at the reunion too as well, to have this whole conversation about everything that happened between her and Glendale. But we already know how this whole thing gonna play out. Leticia ain't going nowhere. She gonna stay with that man, and she gonna continue to stick beside him and be the idiot that she is. So let that man cheat in peace. Just ask that he wear a condom at this point. But stop stressing that man out, considering the fact that you ain't going no goddamn where. Period. Y'all let me know what y'all think about everything that Mandy had to say. Let me know what y'all think about this. Do y'all think that Leticia knew about said affair prior to it being revealed on the show? Ooh, girl, this is a mess. And she also went on to say once again that Latrice knew nothing about her messing around with this man. But I call cap on that. How are you kicking it with him at her restaurant and she has no idea that y'all fucking around? How is it that you sitting outside her restaurant in the car with this man and she don't know y'all fucking around? Girl, get the fuck out of here. Stop trying to play us like we stupid. Like we the public is dumb. Leticia is dumb, but not us. That bitch knew exactly what the hell was going on. Please, bye. Ugh. Let's talk about it, y'all, down below in the comment section. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all on my next video. Bye.